The last thing is composition. And I'm going to keep the same two functions. G of x equals 2x plus 3, and f of x equals x squared. Did I say minus x minus 6? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to use these same two functions, and I'm going to go over how you find f of g and how you find g of f. There's a different notation that your teacher might have used. F of g, f of g, or g of f. Okay? This is the notation most of us learned when we were going to school. This is the notation your textbook uses. They mean the same. Okay? The hardest part for students is figuring out which one's which, right? You're asked to do f of g, and by mistake you do g of f, right? So, f of g means the g function goes into f. And g of f means the f function goes into g. Okay? So f of g means it's going to look like f of x, because f came first. F of g, you're plugging the g function into the f function. It's going to look like this. You have x squared, but you're plugging in 2x plus 3 as your x. So it's going to be 2x plus 3 squared minus a 2x plus 3 minus a 6. Does that make sense? F of g. Plug g into f. G of f. Plug what? F into g. So if you plug f into g, you're using this function 2, and instead of x, x squared minus x minus 6 plus 3. Everybody see the difference?
Yes.
Aren't these the ones you get confused by? Yes. F of g, plug g into f. G of f, plug f into g. Now, I'm not saying we're done yet. We still have some algebra to do. So let's continue doing this one right here. What's the first mistake you could make right here? Not foiling. Exactly. You've done that before. Try to stop doing that. It's the final. So it's 2x plus 3 times 2x plus 3, right? You got to FOIL it. What do you get? 4x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 9, 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. Everybody with me? Now, see this negative? That's your second favorite mistake. When you see this negative, what do you have to do with it? You got to distribute it to the 2x, so minus 2x, and then you got to distribute it to the 3. So minus 3. And then minus 6. Okay, so we're working on this problem right here. We've FOILed 2x plus 3, 4x squared plus 12x plus 9. We've distributed the negative, minus 2x, minus 3, and we finished the problem. Now it's like terms. 4x squared plus 10x, and 9 minus 3 minus 6 cancels, huh? So there's nothing left. So this is the answer to f of g. 4x squared plus 10x. There's no solving to do. And to me, that's a perfectly reasonable answer. I have no idea if your particular teacher would want you to factor it. But to me, that's a perfectly acceptable answer. G of f. Again, you plug f into g, right? You plug f into g. And so then work it out. 2x squared minus 2x minus 12 plus 3 Combine your like terms. 2x squared minus 2x minus 9. Here are your final answers for g of f and f of g. Our favorite ones to give you are the things that are new. We're going to give you division. That's new. We're going to give you composition. That's new. We're going to give you inverse. That's new. Those are the new ones. Those are the ones to be ready for. Yes?
Okay, what if you have an example that's like 3 times g of x minus 2 times f of x?
It basically means you take your g of x function. Yep. It means you do exactly what they're asking you to do. 3 times the g of x function. Here's your g of x function, 2x plus 3. So you're going to do 3 times 2x plus 3 minus 2 times f of x minus 2 times x squared minus x minus 6. You're literally just following their directions.
In my review packet, I got this example. It was g of x plus f parentheses negative x.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, same idea. If the g of x function was 2x plus 3 and the f of x function was x squared minus x minus 6 like mine was, then you'd have 2x plus 3 plus, now f of the opposite of x means everywhere you have an x, they want you to replace it with a negative x. Okay? So that means it's a negative x squared minus a negative x minus 6. And you just do the math. Okay? The inverse of a quadratic. We really couldn't ask you to find the inverse of something like this. But we could ask you to find the inverse, say, of h of x equals 2x squared minus 5. We'd have to basically take and have only one x. Okay? Now, technically, when we ask you, when we give you this kind of notation, and we're asking you to find the inverse, we're saying it needs to be a function. Okay? You guys know this is a parabola, right? And it's parabola opening up. A parabola opening up, its inverse is going to be a parabola opening to the right. That's technically not a function. All right? So most of us do not give this to you because we know that we're kind of being a hypocrite. We're saying find the inverse of something that's not a function. So at the point where you take the square root, you just don't put plus or minus. So here's what it would look like, okay? If it was h of x equals 2x squared minus 5, you'd say y equals 2x squared minus 5. X and y would switch places. X equals 2y squared minus 5. And you'd solve for y the same way. You'd add 5. X plus 5 equals 2y squared. You divide by 2. Now you have y squared equals x plus 5 over 2. And you would take the square root. You just wouldn't technically put plus or minus because it's not a, if you did, it wouldn't be a function. And when we give you this kind of notation, we are asking for a function. So the answer would just be that the inverse of h of x is the square root of x plus 5 over 2. So you did the exact same thing we did on the linear problem. You undid all